Time for the Daily Take, and that's when we bring in Geraldo Rivera, listening in. Geraldo, hello.
Hey,
okay, so the government's reopened, the shutdown is over. You've been the one saying it, so just a quick follow-up on that before we move on to some other news of the day. We're talking to the congressman about it. Now we move on to debating these issues, I guess, and figuring out what we're going to do about health care, affordability, and all the rest.
well, the question is, will we really move forward and talk about affordability in health care? Will we talk about the subsidies of the Obamacare? It just seems to me, listening to the Republicans, they got what they wanted in terms of the government opening, so there's a tremendous sigh of relief, but I don't see any follow-up on the Democrats' demand for a concurrent debate on Obamacare subsidies being sustained. So it seems to me like, I mean, just to the extent I've been paying attention, that the Republicans got what they wanted, and now they're telling the Democrats, I don't know what you're talking about. Health care? I didn't say I was going to, vote on, continuing these subsidies. They are due to expire. So I think that all things considered, the Democrats have been shafted by the Republicans.
Now, on that issue of health care, two things related to Senator John Fetterman. First of all, our best wishes to the senator today. Reported last hour, and we've been updating throughout the day that he fell and has had health issues in the past. So we hope he's okay there. Cuomo just had him on last night, and he was on the show talking about exactly, to some extent, I think what you were just bringing up there on the likelihood you get some sort of a health care deal if the Democrats did not give in. And here's how Fetterman sees it. Listen.
We can have a conversation when our government is open and we're feeding everybody, we're paying everybody. We are not making flying in America less safe. I mean, these are serious things. There are serious kinds of consequences to shut our government down.
So what do you say to that, Geraldo? Because his point was like, all right, now we just got to get it open and then we can talk, but you're saying they're not going to maybe have the conversation.
That's what I think. I mean, maybe you have a different idea. It just seems to me, knowing politics the way I do, and every indication is that the Republicans will not show good faith in terms of the Democrats reluctantly agreeing to reopen the government.
The only thing is that issue could hurt them, though, health care, in the midterms, if they don't do something about it, the Republicans.
But they'll blame, the Republicans will just blame the Democrats. They'll just make it politics. There's a reason there's not a Republican health care plan, because they just have not come up with one going way back in the early Biden years. Even beyond, there's been Obamacare since Obamacare.
I mean, it really goes back, I think it's 2013, right? I mean, it goes back then, that repeal and replace with what? And I mean, if you want to just be fair in criticizing Republicans, I think many Republicans would admit as much or tell you as much themselves, that that's one you could say, yeah, this is on them. They should have had a plan by now.
That's why I said that they needed simultaneous agreements. The Democrats to go along with opening the government, the Republicans to go along with talking about subsidizing the subsidies being continued, a one-year continuation of the subsidies to go with a one-year opening of the government. But you're not going to have that. It just seems to me that the Democrats have been lost with maybe the radicals were right. Now I don't mean that. I withdraw that. I think closing the government is the worst thing. Thank you. Closing the government is the worst thing that any legislator can do.
Right.
They're screwing everybody. They're causing people to be fearful, flights to be canceled, people to be inconvenienced, food assistance to be withheld. There's nothing good that comes from closing the government. However, in this case, there was a specific promise from the Republicans, from John Thune, the majority leader, to go now to the next step, which was to negotiate these subsidies on Obamacare. And I don't see any indication that phase 2 is going to happen.
We'll see. You might end up being right about that.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.